What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So first off, I just want to apologize for not being or not uploading last week. Like, I was legit sick and I'm still trying to recover. But just know, when you guys don't see me uploading on here, you can better believe that I am on Instagram. So make sure you are following me on Instagram at naturally_Nikki20, just to see what's going on. You know, come and check on you, girl. Make sure I'm all right. Make sure I'm alive and well and all that great stuff. You know what I'm saying? Don't just let me not post. Anyways, so as you guys read by the title, this video is just going to be about taking back your purity and the gift that God gave you. This video is aimed at women of all ages. It's aimed at women in particular who are single, and when I say single, I mean not married. And let me put this disclaimer out there now, because I know the last few videos I've said stuff in reference to women who are not married, but that's just where my heart is right now, because my heart is with single women and married women in general. But specifically because I know where I came from. I haven't always been married. And I know the struggles that I went through while I was single. I know the thoughts that I had, the feelings that I had, the emotions that I had. So I can relate to, obviously, a lot of women who are not married, but who desire to be married. And then I'm also making this video because I know, like in our celibacy journey video with Shelton, he talked a lot, and that's what I wanted, because I wanted you guys to be able to see things from a man's perspective and to know that there are men out there who are deciding to reclaim their virginity as well and wait until they have a wife. So men are out there doing this. And then lastly, I'm making this video just to encourage other women out there who are teeter-tottering with the decision to become celibate. And so real quick, before we just delve into this video, y'all know, if you watch me on the daily, that I do have a 1-year-old, and so if you hear a child in the background, that's what you hear. I can't help it, y'all. I can't, you know, he ain't going to sleep. It's early. So a little background on myself. I'm 31. I lost my virginity at a very young age. A lot younger than I wish to have now, looking back in retrospect. But I was about 25 or 26 when I decided that I wanted to reclaim my virginity. That I just wanted to be whole again. I wanted to be pure again. And the reason I made that decision was because I wanted to be closer to God. Like I told y'all in a previous video, I was tired of feeling like there was something that was stopping me from being closer to God, because I knew that something was sex outside of marriage. And then it wasn't until then that I decided to be serious about God, that I realized that I am a special gift. You know, he values me, and he has gifted me with a special thing that he wants me to give to one man. And I realized that casual sex just wasn't cute. It wasn't worth giving somebody who probably wasn't even committed to me. So these are just some questions that I suggest you ask yourself before you decide to sleep with the next person, or before you decide to sleep with your boyfriend. So one of the questions is, why have you had sex with the people that you have had sex with? Like, just looking back and thinking about that 1, 2, 5, 15, 20, I don't know how many ever people it might have been. How did you feel afterwards? Like, did you feel encouraged? Did you feel uplifted? Did you feel rejuvenated? Did you feel like you can just run the world or rule the world? Like, was it uplifting for you? Did you feel like a good woman afterwards? And if you guys broke up, Because I'm asking you to not only look at the person, if you're in a relationship, look at the person that you're with, but look at the people before them. How did you feel after you guys broke up, or after you guys stopped talking? And if he would have decided not to deal with you after y'all had sex, like, would you still have felt good about yourself? Would you still have felt uplifted? Would you still have felt motivated? Would you still have been on cloud 9 because the sex was so bomb? Like, would that have just been like, okay, it didn't work out, but at least I got me some? Like, do you actually feel good? And if you're currently in a relationship and you were to tell the person that you with, hey, I know we've been rocking for, the past 5 months, or I know we've been rocking for the past year, but I just really want to slow down on this whole sex thing, and I just really want the person that I have sex with again to be my husband. How would they react? Would they be like, bruh, you are completely tripping? Or would they say, you know what, I can respect that, that's cool, we can still stay together? What would be their response to you if you said that? And the reason why I ask you that question is because when I decided to become celibate, I was in a very long committed relationship at the time. And so that, for me to just drop that ball on him was a big deal. Not how he received it wasn't a big deal, because he actually was okay with it. But as far as for somebody that you've been kicking it with for a long time, and just to up and say that, hey, I don't want to have sex until, the next person I have sex with gonna be my husband. Just to drop that ball on them is a big deal. So how would they react to it? Would they be like, bro, that's unfair, you didn't even consider me in this whole decision that you made? And if they say you didn't consider me in this decision they made, I pose this question to you. It's your body. Why do you have to consider them in making that decision if that's not your husband? If this person has not got on one knee and said, will you marry me? And even if they did, y'all can still wait. But like, why do you, or why should he feel like, or why do you feel like you have to ask permission? And then ask if they decide to say, yeah, we can work this thing out, we don't have to have sex, but can you honestly, from that point moving forward, believe that they will stay faithful to you? Or at the back of your mind, do you feel like that they would be sleeping with somebody else? Or do you feel like if you don't have sex with them, they gonna leave? And if you do feel like that, I would definitely encourage you to not even be with that person. Even if you decide that you aren't going to be celibate, but if they can't just not have sex with you, or not have sex, period, and stay focused and stay committed to the relationship, they ain't worth being with. You should not have to feel like you have to have sex with somebody for them to stay. Like, that should not be the basis upon your relationship. That should not be the only thing that you guys can connect with within your relationship. Y'all should be able to communicate. Y'all should be able to have a good time together. That doesn't always have to end in sex. Y'all should be able to get mad at each other and talk things through with their not having to be makeup sex. Like, those are the foundations that your relationship should be built on outside of God. If you don't feel like you can trust them not to sleep with anybody, then obviously what you have physically is more important to them than what you can offer them emotionally and spiritually. I know these are a lot of questions that I'm just like pouring on y'all, but I'm just trying to show you guys like what true value is in a relationship. It is not sex. You have more to offer. You do not have to give yourself physically to show that you are a keeper. You do not have to try to make yourself the best sex he has ever had just for him to keep you. If that is the only thing that you have to offer, then I strongly suggest that you decide to be celibate, because there's some things that you just need to work out within yourself. And if you stopped and asked yourself today, like, what's the one thing that's keeping me from being closer to God, if it's that thing, then that's another reason why I suggest that you would decide to be celibate. Will you get horny? Yes, you're going to get horny. Will you get lonely? Yes, you might get lonely. There's going to be a lot of emotions that you might go through during this transition, because for some people, it goes a lot deeper than this. It goes, it's deep-rooted back to molestation. It's deep-rooted back to just promiscuity and just that spirit just living within you. I know that it goes a lot deeper than just having sex. These are soul ties that, you know, you are making every time you lay down with somebody new. And laying with anybody outside of the one that God has given you is robbing you of the oneness that you will eventually want to share with your husband. Once you finally get married, it's like, you know, man, I wish you would have been the first, the last, and the only person that I could have ever shared all of my love with. I'm telling you, ladies, there are some fine men still out there who ain't, you know, just trying to lay down with anything or trying to be with anyone. Like, I got one, you know what I'm saying, but he already taken, we's married. But no, seriously though, every man that says, you know, I don't want to have sex until I get married, doesn't mean he's gay. It just means that he's a man of value. Now, I'm not also saying that just because you find a guy that decides to be celibate, also that he is the one. I'm going to need y'all to know the voice of the Lord and know whether or not that is your husband or not. That's a whole separate video. We'll get in that one, you know, a little bit later. Okay. But no, seriously, as cliche as it sounds, if he loves you, he will wait. And I know that ain't what y'all want to hear, but it is so the truth. Me deciding to not have sex allowed me to just get closer to God. It allowed me to know the voice of the Lord, because I was in a relationship with God at that point. Like, legit, it was just me and the Lord just rocking it out. And I know y'all like, that sounds boring, but this whole nother video. I keep on saying that, but deciding to rock for God isn't a boring life. Take this time to get to know yourself. Take this time to give your body a rest from bacteria infections, from yeast infections, from urinary tract infections. And no, I'm not saying that sex is the only thing or sex before marriage is the thing that's causing you guys or us women to have those symptoms or those, you know, infections. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that it's not helping. It is definitely contributing to. So I realized that I forgot to share with you guys the most important part, which is the recipe for becoming pure again, which is simply just asking God to, 1, forgive you, 2, forgiving yourself, and 3, just asking God to make you whole again and clean your spirit. And that's it. I pray this video is encouragement and uplifting to somebody. I pray that somebody will take this message and apply it to their own lives. Like, y'all, on a serious note, that's my only desire. Like, when I put out videos as transparent as this one, as transparent as the one Shelton and I sat down and did, and as transparent as I plan to be moving forward, my desire is in all honesty to encourage you to be a better woman. So yeah, Shelton and I are getting all of these questions together. I know we owe you guys some answers from your questions in the last video. We have not forgotten. We're getting all these questions together, but I really felt like I should do this video before we answer questions so that it can be like one big Q&A. So if you leave me questions below, I will add them to our Q&A list of questions to answer, and we will answer these questions, I promise. So go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and subscribe, and go ahead and hit that bell so that you can be notified next time I upload a video. And make sure, like I said, y'all are following me on Instagram, and when I don't upload a video, y'all make sure y'all come and check on your girl, because you know your girl be sick. I'm already sounding monotone and raspy over here. So anyways, because this video is probably long enough by now. I love you guys, and